So here's another part of our design 330 work. Here we've got the pinion. It's I gave you the IPT file of it so that this should be able to kind of pop out pretty quickly for you in Inventor. You may not remember how to do some of these things, like how to put these little symbols in and these little geometric symbols and make a table, but um, put it in the request notes for tomorrow, and I'll do that. Maybe you don't remember how to put a tolerance box in or something like that. We'll work on it a little bit. This was not too bad to make, but what will that look like in AutoCAD? It won't look exactly the same. So I want to show you what your AutoCAD visualization might look like on this. Okay, so here we go. And I can see that I accidentally made this go all the way through instead of 0.625 deep, but this is what a gear gets drawn as. That's how you normally do a gear. And the pitch diameter is the important one. So that goes on its own layer. Let's take a look at these layers. Okay, there's a centerline layer, a construction layer, dimension layer, geometry layer, hatch. Those are all your normal ones, and those should be done as you've done up to this point all throughout our program. You can even go back to your design 301 book and look at what those numbers usually are. They're usually like 0.028, 0.014, things like that, maybe a little less than that. But then we've got a special one for outside diameter, pitch diameter, root diameter, and of course we've got text. Okay, so let's take a look at what those are. Get this out of the way. I'll just close it up. So when you see is your outside diameter. And it's like that because it's not, I don't need to draw every little gear tooth. In AutoCAD, that's hard. You can import a gear, but if you're just drawing it plain, it'll kind of look like that. And then the pitch diameter and the root diameter. Okay? And then when you mate them, you mate the pitch diameters together. So those are all on their own layers. Then I've center marked the whole thing. And about the center, I drew my little bushings, a little circle. And I made that an array, right? So I drew one and then I made an array. And then in here, this was kind of a trick. I drew this circle. That's the point. Sorry, I didn't. I drew a circle that was 0.541 diameter. And then I made a hexagon around it. If you're not familiar with that, here. Across the flats, it's 0.541. And then I can come here and make a polygon with 6 sides. I just type that into the box. And I say the center. And then it wants inscribed or circumscribed. I think in this case, I want circumscribed because that puts it outside. And that means my distance across the flats from one flat to the other one across is 0.541. And then if I erase that, you'll see that this distance from here to here is 0.541. Oh, I should have made it the radius, the diameter 0.541. I drew a radius 0.541. Sorry about that. I do that all the time. I bet you guys do too. Okay, you can see over here that I did it right. But that's how you go ahead and do it. Okay, and then I just, I use my construction lines to get myself lined up. And then I just started drawing all the way across. Now these are all geometry lines because when I make my section, that's what I see. I see that geometry. And this one, let me show you here. This is not always put in. Some companies, that's the pitch diameter. Some companies do not show that. They show the addendum, the dedendum, and the root. But the companies that I worked for basically just showed the pitch diameter so that I could put my mating gear section up against it again. Okay, and then it's just all about your good annotations, which you know how to do. If you need help on those, of course, let me know and I can demonstrate. It might have been a semester or two since you've used AutoCAD, but you need to be sure to keep your AutoCAD skills high. Every design job has some AutoCAD in it. It's just that much of a backbone. You want to be able to do that. Okay, but that's how you get the modeling done. And I thought I would go over that for you so that you would know about what it needs to look like. Oh, the other thing is you do not need the isometric. What we're doing here with a 2D drawing, we do not need the isometric. You do need the table, you need the revision history, you need a parts list and a tolerance and a title block of some sort. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. You could use a normal title block that you've used in the past. Okay, and then you just do your annotations as you go. All right, so there we go. Let's see if that gets you moving forward, and you can always contact me if you need more. Of course, I suggest you contact me before Friday at noon or Friday at 5 o'clock because I won't be giving demos over the weekend, right? Your job is to review these things and look them over and see what we can do from there. All right, there we go. Any questions? Go ahead and contact me.